Okay, this is our sequel to our Airbnb video. Alan's here and he has some questions. He's sitting off camera in his swimsuit. We just got out of the pool, and so he's going to ask me some questions about how the Airbnb is going. What do you have?
Well, so you mentioned that we just got out of the pool. I noticed that it's not nearly as much of a jungle back there as it was. And you said in the last video that we might do something about it.
That's true. We've spent a lot of our time here at the new house doing landscaping in the front and the back, and it definitely looks better than it did
Yeah.
before. There was just so many weeds to kill, and now I've planted some stuff and I'm waiting for it to get bigger.
So how's the short-term rental going?
Right. That's what we're calling it, short-term rental, because we're actually on VRBO also, so we can't call it just an Airbnb anymore.
Yeah, I think we actually have our first Verbo guests in there right now, don't we?
We do, yep. It pushed us into doing it because they couldn't book on Airbnb. That's another story, but they couldn't do it, and so now they're on VRBO, and they're in there right now.
So have we been able to get a lot of guests in there?
Yes. Until this time, it was all Airbnb, but it's been every weekend since, we opened April 9th, and I think that we've had people in there every weekend. It's now June 16th, and it's booked every weekend all the way through August or mid-August, and then a lot of weekdays also. I think we're averaging like 25 nights a month or something.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
So, yes. I've definitely, when people have been like, oh, how's it going? And I'm like, we're booked almost all the time. It's been funny to see people's faces, how surprised they are.
And I think that the very first thing that most people ask when they find out how often it's booked is they say something like, why are people staying at a vacation rental in Plano?
Yeah. What are they doing in Plano? Because we're about 30 minutes from Dallas, 30 minutes from either airport. There's not that many touristy things to do in Plano, and so everyone, especially people who are from here or who have lived here a long time, are just really surprised. And we found that people are here for all kinds of reasons. They're here for weddings, funerals, bachelorette parties. Sometimes people are local, sometimes they fly in from somewhere else. Sometimes they're visiting local family, or I don't know, what other reasons have we had?
We had some people who were here to interview.
Right, so some people it was like a professor or something who was interviewing. They were here for the week with their family. That was good.
The people who are in it right now are having their house worked on.
Right, so we've got some locals here right now. They're having their bathroom worked on. They've got 2 little kids. They just want out of the dust, and so they asked if they could stay at our place for a few days, and I thought that was a great idea.
So is there anything that's been really surprising about that process?
So definitely how many people are interested in staying at my house. It's still like, I can't get over it. I mean, I know it's a cool house, but I'm still surprised every time someone's like, oh, I can't wait to come vacation at your house. I don't know, it still seems weird. But I think that the biggest surprise to me is how much time every week I spend doing laundry. And I've done some Instagram stories where I complain about how many towels people use, but it's surprising. Somebody will be there for like 2 nights, and it's like 3 people for 2 nights, and they use like 12 towels. I'm like, what were you doing? Plus all of our pool towels. And so we're just constantly doing laundry. During the turnover, we're doing laundry at the rental, and in between we do all the linens at our house. So it's just a constant stream of laundry. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Sarah Boyle Homes. So look for me there, and all my complaining about towels and fun stuff, not just complaining. But
So you use the word weird a couple of times.
Yes.
Has anything weird happened?
So one of my favorite stories is this girl was having a bachelorette party. No, it was a birthday party. She was having a birthday party at her house. She was turning like 33 or something. And so it's not like she was turning 21. And she had a full house. It was like 8 or 9 people, which they're only supposed to have 8, but I do make some exceptions. And they were there for 3 nights. And there was so much trash. They brought contractor plastic bags, like the big black trash bags. And they, instead of using like a bunch of small bags, they just filled this giant bag and then they just left it in the house. And I got there, she was late checking out, and so we ran into each other. And I go, girl, what am I supposed to do with this? I can't carry this out by myself. And she was like, I'll help you. And I'm like, okay, you take that side. And we like picked it up and carried it outside. And it completely filled our 95-gallon trash can.
Has anything been ruined yet?
Yes. Yeah. Mostly towels. I feel like this is just we could just label this video Sarah Complains About Towels, but I have had some towels ruined, some washcloths, bath mats, and then one table that I'll admit, it was a cheap table, like, you know, one of those like pressed, well, they look like cardboard, but it was a super cheap side table that I had next to one of the beds. Someone must have put it outside and like used it as a table outside, and then it rained unexpectedly that night. Like, we were surprised it rained also. But then they tried to just put it back in the house like nothing happened, and it all like peeled apart and was completely ruined. And honestly, the girl that was hosting had no idea. So I sent her a message and she was so apologetic, and I sent her a bill for it and she paid it. So no problem.
All right, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about?
I did get some other great questions on Instagram, and I'm going to do another video about that. I'm going to try to get some more questions from people, what they're interested in hearing. But no, for now, I think just one bit of advice: if you're staying in someone's short-term rental through Airbnb, just be considerate on the amount of time it takes them to get it ready for you. My check-in's not until 3, and I get a lot of people asking me for early check-ins, but I have to clean a 2,300 square foot house and 5 beds and kitchen and 2 bathrooms. It's a lot. And so I wish that people were more considerate and understanding about that check-in time. So think about that if you're renting a place. And then if you're thinking about hosting, set your bar high. You know, make good house rules, be very clear on your expectations, and remind people before they get there and while they're there, like what you expect of them, and that you're available to answer questions. And then after they leave, make sure that you ask them for a 5-star review and tell them that you plan to give them a good review and that you want them to give you a good review. And, yep, that's my 2 bits of advice. Do you have anything to add? No. Are you glad that we're doing it?
Dude, I'm actually really glad that we're doing it. I was skeptical at first. After paying taxes and you know, all the upfront costs and everything that go into it, we have not quite broken even yet.
Right. But we're almost there.
But we will break even this summer, and so that's actually a really quick timeline to get in the black on any business that you start up.
If you start a small business, usually you don't make a profit for like months and months. So
yeah, or even a couple of years or whatever it is.
Right.
So this has turned into a really good decision so far, and you're crushing it. So good
far,
job.
so good. You heard it. I'm crushing it.
Yeah.
All right. Till next time.